Perfect. All right, puppy dog.
Easy, come down.
Come on. Come over here. I am Rob Coen, race director of Brazos Bend Trail Races and of BrazosBend50. I am here with Melinda Coen. Thanks for joining us, Melinda.
Hey, no problem.
So this is going to be part of our before and after series. We're highlighting trail runners that are here in the Houston area that are running the BrazosBend50. So Melinda is a trail runner here by way of Virginia,
Yep.
correct? So and she just recently got 4th place in the Rocky Raccoon 50 miler here recently. So thanks for joining us, Melinda.
Yeah, happy.
So tell us a little bit about when you began to run and why you began to run.
So I started running probably far earlier than a lot of people. Whenever I was about 6 years old, my parents used to lived out in the country, and my parents would put a cooler in the van and follow me and my older 2 siblings down the country roads. And me and my brother, whenever we got tired, we'd hop in the van and cool off because my sister was training to do her first road race. So I started running pretty early.
Yeah. So your sister was a competitive runner, ran in.
Sort of competitive. I mean, she did high school, middle school, high school track, cross country, but now she just kind of runs for fun.
Okay, so you started running early. Did you progress in running? Meaning, did you run in middle school?
Yeah, so I ran middle school, high school. Was fortunate enough to run for West Virginia University, and then kind of got into marathoning and did Boston and said to heck with roads and started doing trails.
And you did this when you lived in Virginia?
Yes.
So the transition for you from road to trail, how many years ago was that for you?
I guess about 2011 is whenever I got back into running trails.
Okay, and then obviously when you lived in Virginia, went to trails, where did you train and who did you train with?
So I trained mostly on roads in Virginia, really, because it was a bit of a drive to get out to any of the good trailheads. Started training with Melinda Coen shortly before I moved down here. He's a beast of a trail runner.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I did a lot of road running, did some running, just some of the trails around Arlington, Virginia.
Okay. And then tell us a little bit about, and you and I just spoke about this, but what led you to Houston? And then when you got to Houston, how did you get in the trail scene here?
So actually, my husband's, he got sort of transferred down here through work, and we said, yeah, let's go. Actually, Rob, you sent me a message on Facebook before I even got down here because I was posted on Tejas Trails trying to find out where the trails were down here.
Yeah.
So I came and ran with the Hater group. You guys are a blast. Love running with you. And just sort of started exploring and really just loving the trail community down here. I'm running trails way more now than I was in Virginia.
Yeah, that's probably very surprising to people. I mean, obviously
Yes.
to think that you're here in Houston running trails all the time. And actually, when I drove over here, right out your back door is an entrance to the trail system.
Yep.
And we're right here in the suburbs. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a short little trail system about 400 feet from my front door, and I can run a mile the other way and be in the levee that goes around George Bush Park. So I can do 40 miles out my front door and only hit 2 miles of asphalt.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's one of the great things about you highlighting that as people come to Houston and think, we are flatlanders, but there is a lot of trail system, and a lot of the suburbs have green belts in place where you can get out and run just like that.
Yeah, and they're great trails.
Yeah, they are. So, last year you were fortunate enough. What was your qualifying race for Western States when you ran Western States?
So I ran Western States in 2012.
Right.
I had dumb luck to get in with my first 50 miler ever. We ran it with my husband. We clocked a 9:43 up in Wisconsin. And yeah, dumb luck, got in, ran Western States in 2012. Beautiful course. Hopefully we'll get to go back sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about that, experience, being that you were kind of newer to trail. Like you said, dumb luck, first timer to get into such a prestigious, race. How was that?
It was incredible. I mean, it's simply the most beautiful trail I've ever run on. And even though, the year I ran it, we had a full-on mountain storm the first 50K, where you had like high winds, hail, freezing cold, it was pretty miserable. But after that, the sun came out, it got pretty nice. It was really a great day for running. And all I had to think about was getting to the next aid station. And there was a part whenever you run through the canyons where I just had to stop because I was like, I'm going to trip over my feet and fall down because all I could do was like look over at the next canyon and I didn't want to miss it. So I had to just stop and like look for a minute, and it was just stunning.
Take it all in, right?
Yeah.
That's great. So you recently, February of this year, ran, Rocky Raccoon 50 miler. Tell us a little bit about, your goals in that race, how you accomplished them and how you felt.
That was a great race. That was really a bit of a breakthrough race for me. Indiana, go right down. So, I went into that race, my best 50-mile time was 9:09. So my goal originally was just 8:30. I was just gonna clock some 10-minute miles, see how it goes. I came through the first loop in 2:30, so each loop is 16.7 miles. So did that and felt good and just kind of kept going. And, I saw my husband also ran it, and I saw him, and he's like, you're running faster than 10-minute miles. I'm like, yeah, I know. I can't slow down. But just had an amazing day. Just felt good.
Yeah.
So that was really, that was a breakthrough race and just felt amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're in a place now where obviously you're running the BrazosBend50, but you're really training for the Bryce Hundred, correct?
Yep.
When is that race?
June 14th, I believe.
June 14th. So then that's a race that you've been wanting to do, and
yeah. So I haven't done 100 since Western States. So it took 2013 didn't do 100. So this will be my second attempt at 100 miles, and really just wanting to go somewhere where I'd never been before. It looks beautiful out there, so why not?
Absolutely. Well, part of the series is to talk about what drives one. Now, you're obviously someone who's had the opportunity to run a 50 miler very successfully, run a 100 miler, you're going back for another. So, in regards to your life, what makes you want to do these things? What makes you want to be faster? Is it competitiveness that drives you? Is it?
I'm definitely competitive. I'm very competitive with myself, and I try. I'm also very competitive with other people, though. So anytime I go out and race, I have to remind myself to not race the other people, because if I race them too early, it doesn't work out very well. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very competitive just by nature. I have been my whole life. But also, I just really like getting outside. That's just what I enjoy doing. I'll go out and run 5-6 hours on Saturday, Sunday, and that's a good day for me.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of fun. So being that, you're in a training cycle, obviously Bryce is your A race, the race that you're really looking forward to, and then you kind of obviously get an invitation to run Brazos Bend, and as you and I talked when you first got here, the list of women in this field seems to be getting stronger by the day as we get closer. But tell me a little bit about your thoughts going into the race and what you kind of think you'd like to get out of it.
Yeah, so this will be my first attempt at racing 250 milers within a month. So I'm going to do Hells Hills April 5th, and then Brazos April 26th, so that's 3 weeks apart.
Yeah.
So, my goal is to race it, have a good race, and really use Brazos and Hells Hills both as sort of okay, here's where my fitness level is, and now, I think I'll be ready at that point to go tackle Bryce. But, really, I want to be competitive too. I'm not gonna lie. There's some fast women, and I want to try to chase some of them down.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in regards to just the overall sense of how you've run ultras in the past, and obviously looking towards Bryce, is there something that you see in your future? Obviously, if you have some great races, you run Bryce. Is there any races that are ahead that you've kind of put out there as 3-year goals or even 2-year goals? Anything that you kind of on that bucket list that you want to go after? Oh,
that bucket list gets longer every day, Rob. So I'd like to do the Texas 300. Thinking about doing that next year.
Texas 300 is, of course,
where you do the 100-mile Rocky Raccoon. You do 3 weeks prior to that. You do Bandera 100K, and then
Cactus Rose, and that's all within the Chaos Trail series.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd like to do that. Also found a very interesting race that I'd like to do in a couple years called the Tahoe 200.
Yes.
That just sounds like fun.
Yeah, that just came out actually. Yeah.
Oops. Don't mind Indiana.
So the 200 is something that I mean, anything, obviously, you know, the 200 is now being talked about as kind of being, you know, the ultra. I mean, being able to kind of push the pace. And I think Candace Bird is the race director, you know, for that race. And it's obviously a race it's sold out for the first year. It's obviously, you know, for obviously being a very niche group of niche people that would want to attempt that. Is there anything that's other than the actual, you know, distance of 200 miles? Is there anything else that's about that course that just makes you really want in?
Well, I don't know if you've ever gone out to Tahoe, but it's stunning. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful out there. But for me, it's some of it's the challenge, and some of it's just being outside, and some of it's just sort of. So there's a quote by John Muir. That's how you say his name. That the mountains are calling, and I must go. Yeah. And that is so me. Like anytime I see a ridge line or mountains, I'm just like, man, I want to go run there. Yeah. So it's just sort of kind of part of who I am, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, that race sounds amazing, and I'm sure it'll be a great thing to race. So. But, you know, what we're going to do also is we'll do an after video where we chronicle Melinda afterwards, and we want to just thank her, look forward to her in the women's field at the Brazos Bend 50, April 26th, and then, you know, like Melinda said, she'll run Hell's Hills in 2 weeks, and then the Bryce 100. So good luck on all those, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Rob.
All right. Got that puppy. Get it back to puppy. Oh, I love this dog, though.
He says that I won't be on TV, guys.